Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, November 9th. It is now 4:30. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after? Commissioner Sol Presley, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you on that. Can we have a roll call on the commissioners?
Soto Presley.
Here.
Casricky.
Here.
Nevejas. Myrick.
Here.
Poppers.
Here, for the record, we have 4 present, 1 absent. Number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4, communications.
Commissioner, we have one communication from Cindy Rivera from the North Township Trustee's Office, and it's dated October 31st, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, Dear Africa, my name is Cindy Rivera, and I work for the North Township Trustee's Office located at 2835 165th Street in Hammond. I would like to personally make a request for your permission to allow the North Township Trustees clients and Elite Staffing client to park across the street from our location. The empty lot is owned by the City of Hammond. Due to all the meetings and community events that are being held at the North Township Trustees Circle of Services, we could use the extra parking at times. Hoping your feedback with regarding to our request for the use of empty lot. Sincerely yours, Cindy Rivera.
Okay. I don't think we need to take any action on this, but I was just going to refer this to Attorney Westland and the staff to look into all the legal matters, being a parking lot, you know, in case of someone tripping or falling or something of that nature.
And I think you have 2 issues. Number one, it's unpaved, so I'm not off the top of my head familiar with all the city ordinances. I think there's a prohibition against parking in an unpaved lot. It's got to be paved. That's number one. And then number 2 is, you know, that you'd want them to indemnify and hold you harmless if any of their people were injured or hurt as a result of using that parking lot. So the first question obviously is can it be used as a parking lot at all? And I think Africa is going to...
I'm going to speak to the city planner or the director of city planning regarding whether or not they can use it as a parking lot, even for overflow.
And then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Thank you. Number 5 is our minutes from October 3rd, 2017.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from October 3rd, 2017.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the minutes from October 3rd, 2017. Is there any questions or discussion or correction on the minutes? Okay, then, roll call.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Casricky.
Yes.
Nevejas. Myrick.
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. All right, number 6, our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. Looks like there's 10 applicants on the...
We had 10 applicants. Number 9, Tiffany Chester, called and withdrew from the program. We have 4 currently here. 3 are coming from Illinois, so they're probably stuck in traffic, and 1's a fireman, so he's at work.
Okay, well, just have them come forward. Welcome. Thank you for coming out.
We ain't gonna bite. May I ask your name, ma'am? The black sort of
My name's Maria Salas.
And how did you hear about the program?
I've started through my sister and just kind of heard it from around.
Okay. See, that's easy. Next, ma'am. Let's do the ladies first.
Armia Garrett,
And how did you hear about the program?
through my realtor,
So your realtor, may I ask who your realtor is?
Diane, I'm not sure of her last name.
Klein, maybe, with Macaulay? No? So.
LaVintage or something like that?
Pardon?
LaVintage?
Okay, I don't know her, but that's okay. We're just trying to find out how people hear about our program. You, sir, in the gray sweater, how did you hear about our program? Your name?
Online research, and my name is Kirkland Clark.
Okay. And you, sir, your name?
My name's Abram Nino, and I heard of this program through my sister. She bought a home last year.
Oh, okay. Are all you guys first-time home buyers? Okay. Does anyone other than me have a question?
No, you said pretty much it.
So we have 4 here, and we have 1 who withdrew, and the others you think are on their way?
So many were coming, but I'm assuming their price is coming back since they're coming from Illinois, and then one's a firefighter, so he's at.
Okay, that's Mr. Petrie. He's at work. Okay.
I'm sorry, just for my own little notes, the 4 that are here, I noted Clark, Salas, and Nino. Which one did I miss? I'm sorry?
Number 10.
Oh, thank you, okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the homebound conditional forgivable loan for the applicants that are here and for the applicants that are not here with the request that they attend a meeting in the future.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 4 applicants that are present tonight, along with the 5 that are absent. They would attend a future meeting. Can I have a roll call on that?
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Hasbirky?
Yes,
Navejas? Myrick?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Congratulations.
good luck and thanks for coming out.
Okay, number 7 is approval of contract extension for the Menards project.
Mr. President, the First Amendment to Agreement to Purchase Real Estate on the Menards project that you have in your packet amends the purchase agreement in the following way only. Originally, it was a 6-month due diligence period from May 18th, so that's expiring here in the next week. Menards has started their due diligence. They've gotten partially through with their due diligence, but they still have a few things they need to do. So they've requested this extension of the due diligence period so that they could close it on or before February 12th. So it's essentially a 3-month extension, which is not uncommon at all. So
Standard extension, no, there's no
no,
Okay.
Right.
red flags.
no, they've been working,
Yeah, they've been working.
during the last 6 months. It's just that they're not done. So
Mr. President, I move that we approve the extension for the purchase agreement for the Menards project.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the contract extension for the Menards project. Can we have a roll call on that?
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Hasbirky?
Yes,
Navejas? Myrick?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes. Motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 8 is approval of blight elimination program extension.
Mr. President, members of the commission, you have in your packet a letter that Nicole received in October talking about the BEP program, which I think everyone in the city would agree has been a successful program. What they're asking to do is extend this program for 2018. and we need formal action to do, you know, by the Redevelopment Commission and United Neighborhoods, Inc. to do that. So your vote in favor would extend that program on the same terms and conditions as we've been working through the last year or more into 2018.
No one has any questions?
Yeah, I got
It's definitely a good program. Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the approval of the extension for the blight elimination program extension.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the blight elimination program extension to run all through 2018. Can we have a roll call on that?
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kesbricki,
Yes.
Abejas, Myrick,
Yes.
Fabridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Well, the second one you have in your packet, because I can't find it on what.
Okay, number 9 is the 2018 IHCDA Blight Elimination Program Partner Agreement between IHCDA, the City of Hammond, and the Hammond Redevelopment Commission.
So now that you've approved the extension, you have to approve the agreement with United Neighborhoods, Inc. and the IHCBA. That's what this is. It's the same agreement as you've approved in the past, but it's just a further, you know, you approve the extension, you need to take that step, and now you need to take the next step, which is to make United Neighborhoods, Inc. your partner in this endeavor.
Seems pretty simple. Mr. President, I move that we approve the 2018 IHCDA Blight Elimination Program Partner Agreement between IHCDA and the City of Hammond and the Hammond Redevelopment Commission.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the 2018 IHCDA, which stands for Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority, for the record, Blight Elimination Program Partner Agreement between IHCDA, the City of Hammond, and the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kesbricki,
Yes.
Abejas, Myrick,
Yes.
Fabridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Could I just clarify, it was everybody's intent that United, even though it wasn't specifically stated in the motion, that United Neighborhoods, Inc. is the partner for that program with the Redevelopment Commission. Is that accurate and what everybody's understanding was?
Yes.
We're good. I mean, it was part of my explanation, so I thought it was implicit, I thought it was implicit in the motion, but Karen's right, it wasn't specifically said, so I want to make sure that that's part of what everybody's affirmative vote was.
Yeah, they're a partner.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification anyway, for the record. Okay, number 10 is our approval of change order number 003 for the sports complex.
Good afternoon, committee members. Here to ask for approval for change order number 003 for Golf Inc. This change order is for replacement of approximately 500 linear feet of existing storm pipe along the west side of the sports complex in that old alleyway that was there. Originally, we were tying into about 500 feet north of 167th. When we were tying into it, we discovered that there might be some potential issues with that line. We televised it, sent that over to the city engineer for him to review the telescoping of the existing line. He reviewed it and he recommended replacing the whole thing. At this time, it would be the best time with the asphalt being up and torn up. It would be a value added to the project.
My first question is, I have two A1A documents before me, and I don't know which one we're talking about right now.
Okay, so the one we're talking about right now is change order number 003. The contractor is Goff Inc.
Ah, there it is. Okay, thank you. That's the number I was looking for.
Well, I have to say, I'm glad you caught this now before putting pavement in.
Yes.
And then my only minor clarification, and again, it's been a long time since I've been at a construction closing, but it says the original contract sum was $518,000. Net changes by previously authorized change orders, $4,149,000.
So this was the contractor that was awarded the general trades contract in bid package 3. That was in the sum of $3,800,000 something. And then change order 2 was the sports equipment. We went over the last equipment, so those two
Remember well.
summed together, yes.
The drapes,
Were they gold drapes?
they were gold drapes.
No, it's just curious from 518 to 4 million. That's the line item I'm kind of questioning, just the way the form reads, not the actual change order in this case, because it sounds like it's a necessary change order. So I don't have a problem with that. It's just the way the form reads to me. So, commissioners, anybody else? Sounds like stuff that needs to be done.
Yes, yes.
It does,
Yeah.
and, but I also, to me, it looks, I'm not understanding it. Maybe somebody can explain it better.
So the,
From five,
Goff Inc. was the lowest bidder for the site utilities in bid package 1.
right?
So they were awarded that contract at $518,000. And then they were the low bidder also for the general trades package in bid package 3. Since they were already under contract and they were the low bidder, they're entitled to a change order to that existing contract instead of 2 contracts. Does that clarify?
So effectively, the difference is the $73,653.67, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I think that's where everybody's kind of,
No, I see that. I understand that.
well, that's the difference, you know,
No.
from the fact that.
Yeah, but it's not the difference between 500 and 4 million. Like I say, I question the kind of form, not the actual change order. I'm going to simplify here. Mr. President, I move that we approve change order number 003, now that I found the number on the sheet. And is that change order request
For the sports complex.
for the sports complex?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the change order number 003 for the sports complex. We have a roll call on that.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Caspricky,
Yes.
Navejas, Myrick,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes, 4 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you, Commissioners. The next one added the last minute here before the meeting that I'd like for review and approval to proceed is change order number 001 for Wilson Ironworks. This is the structural steel and Miss Metals contractor. And if you look at the backup, there are 2 proposals. The first one is for adding a 3x3 angle at the roof deck to support the deck and complete the diaphragm structure of the building, basically. And this was inadvertently omitted during the design process. And we need to add it, and right now would be the good time. They're up there installing deck. And asking for approval to proceed on the budget because we'll keep time and material tickets, and I think it would be more economical than the proposal here for that one. And then,
So, and kind of forgive me, but inadvertently admitted,
omitted.
seems to me, omitted, doesn't seem to me like it should be our problem. Like, if somebody bid that job and bid it wrong by the 26,000 you're showing me,
It was inadvertently omitted by the design team. So it was not part of the bid documents.
I say again, they got paid for their bid, right? To do the work, they got paid to do the work, and now they're asking for 26,000 more.
The engineers,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not writing the check. All I see, I add up the three sums, I come up with about $26,000.
yes.
And by the way, it says 46,000 added to the budget.
No, it's a budget price. That's what, I put the budget in there. So if we can get approval to proceed with the work, we will
Okay,
keep
so-
time and material tickets.
So what was the budget?
The budget for this specific work is not, the contract was for the 3.7 million, and there was no budget for this work.
Okay,
That's
I
right to
I
add
get
it to
that.
the contract.
So what's the $46,000 budget?
That's the budget to do this work.
But the proposal you put in front of us is only 26,000.
No, there's three. If you attach it,
Yeah,
if you-
8,200, 16,800, and 1,300.
it would be the 82,000 plus the 63. And I should have made this more clear. The budgets are for the installation. I'm asking for the materials straightforward. We vetted that. That's what would be, but the installation part of it is the one we want to keep monitor. And we think that's going to come in under those budgets.
63 and 82 is 14,500. 15,500. I still only come up with 33,000, and maybe these forms are just far too confusing for my simple brain. But again, it seems to me like we're paying for somebody else's error. Whoever that error might be, I mean, we approved an amount, and it seems to me that, I mean, the fact that you're here, I hate, we don't want to kill a deal, but at some point, we can't pay for everybody's mistakes. Or is that what we're supposed to do? I mean,
I understand your point. In this scenario, so the design team didn't put it in the specs, right? So when the contractors bid it, it wasn't there. We get out there to do the work and we realize, so in your case, let's go back to your house with your drapes, all right? Someone bids a house and the owner, us, forgets to put the drapes on as an item. Get the house all built and you realize, oh crap, I don't have any drapes. I need to go get some drapes now.
right, but that's different, although I like the drape analogy. But the difference is.
Well, it's your analogy, so that's
I
why.
already talked to Kuziak Construction, and they said they're gonna, for this amount of money, they're gonna give me the windows and the drapes. So they bid it, and they said they're gonna do it. But then they go, oops.
I mean, candidly, what happened here, I mean, it's not the contractor's fault, Wilson
I'm
Ironworks.
not saying it's anybody's fault. Things happen. I get it. In a daily basis, things happen. I get it. But it seems to me that, like, and again, maybe I'm new to a project this big, that we keep having to approve things that were, oops.
Well, this is the first one where the item was inadvertently omitted from
The drapes was another one for me, but yeah, I get it.
Okay. No, that was a little bit by
I
design.
understood. I understood it, right.
So this one's the first time it's been inadvertently omitted. So then, to your point, you would talk to the guy who did the design specs, right? In this case, you know, we've hired Madison Construction to kind of be the construction manager and handle all that stuff. I can tell you, I did talk to the chief of staff this afternoon, and, you know, the point that he made to me was, from his perspective, this is a necessary item. It was omitted, and certainly we got an ongoing relationship with Madison that we're gonna have to, you know, potentially talk about why this was omitted and what, if anything, can be done about that omission down the line. But with where they're at in this project, it's sort of essential that you approve this item, this angle, and I'm not a construction guy, so I don't understand why it's so important, but they tell me it is. So my advice to you would be approve this change so we get the angle thing brace that they need out there to keep the roof from collapsing, right, or whatever. And then we can have a discussion with our design people down the line about why this happened and whose fault potentially it was, and is there anything that can be done about the fact that we have this inadvertent omission?
And you know what else? I would like to see, when we get this stuff, a simpler breakdown, so we're not sitting here trying to figure out what's what.
And I agree with you, this form isn't all that clear. The only reason, because I asked questions this afternoon, the $46,000 and not to exceed number, they anticipated coming in underneath that, but in no event will it go higher than that.
Correct.
Right? So, it's kind of where we're at.
I mean, if there is no more discussion, everybody's clear, then I'll make a motion to approve the change order 001 for the sports complex.
And would you just...
With the
not to
intention of following up, whatever the terminology you want to use, in the future to resolve situations like this.
Yeah, and to resolve this situation in particular, but I would also like the motion to state that there's a not to exceed of this budgeted amount of $46,015.
Okay, so what I said earlier with...
As long as you're good with that, you can say...
So move.
I think he has to think.
Oh, okay, you so.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for the approval of change order 001 for the sports complex. Can we have a roll call on that?
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Navejas, Myricks,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you,
4
Commissioner.
yes, 1 absent.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay,
You look like you don't want to step up to that podium.
number 11's approval of Phase 1 environmental site assessment for 7527 Kennedy Avenue.
Hi, Commissioners, this is, again, a proposal, not as difficult as the last one, but it's a proposal for a Phase 1 environmental site assessment on the former FOP site as part of the development process out there, the ice rink, so.
It seems pretty, even I don't have a problem with this one. So. Mr. President, I move we approve the approval of Phase 1 environmental site assessment for 7527 Kennedy Avenue.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of Phase 1 environmental site assessment for 7527 Kennedy Avenue. Can we have a roll call on that?
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Navejas, Myricks,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes. Motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you, Commissioners. And, by the way, JM Wrecking or Industrial, they just have a little bit of grading to do and lay down some seed and they're done. So the demolition turned out pretty nice there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bosky. Okay, number 12 is an approval of a change order for additional services for Lost Marsh Estates.
Good evening. Chris Moore and Howard Jones with Nice Engineering. We are the design engineers on the project for Lost Marsh Estates over on the intersection, near the intersection of 126th Street and New York Avenue. And we're coming in to request additional funding to complete out the project. The situation that we ended up being in is during the project, there was an unknown site that was out on the west side of New York Avenue, formerly old BP property, and right now it was wooded, and there's some debris and stuff back in the back, but the city came to us and trying to develop it, and this is a project that's been going on for quite some time now, and it's finally coming to an end to get it ready to go. The project has been bid, contractor's ready to go. They're gonna plan on sticking the shovels in the ground here coming up in the next couple of weeks. We had originally put together a proposal to do the topographic survey, do the site design, the roadway design, drainage, and the full development of the site. And as well as including some survey work to get everything all set in stone and doing the rezoning and doing the plat of subdivision for the property in question. In the process of doing that, there was just an absolute number of items that came up that were unforeseen, trying to keep this project rolling. We were proactive on getting everything done in a timely fashion and working with the city to get it done. And we had requested additional funding for $15,000 on top of the original design contract to get the unknowns done for
That was zoning, the boundaries of the original zoning, which it turned out were not accurate. So we had to resurvey and basically reestablish the boundaries of the zoning, without which the project could not have continued. And there's no way we could have known that when we started the project.
And I was working with Brian Poland and the city staff to make sure, we had an area out there that it was just kind of pieced together in the past, and we wanted to fix it, make it right. And so we stepped up to the plate and got that done. And there were some other items in there that were included. We had to do some tree clearing, some additional utility coordination to try to get everything cleaned up in there. And we moved forward. And then we were getting towards the end of the project, and this is the request that we're coming in for now. Keeping the ball rolling, and Nice Engineering's been working with the city of Hammond for years, and so we wanted to be proactive and keep this project going on and keeping it on track. And we knew that we were coming up on budget, but we had to get it done. So we stayed with it and stayed the course to get everything taken care of. And in getting that done, we still had to do some additional work for the survey work for the plat of subdivision. Coordinating with the utilities, there's utilities that ran all through the property that are public utilities right through the middle of our sites that we had to get removed and relocated. Working with those guys, establishing easements for them to go into, trying to figure out how we were going to coordinate the work to get the utilities removed and then reinstated, and dealing with the vacations of the easements as well, which is not fun to do. Grading for the site, we were meeting with the team, with the city, dealing with the Port Authority and the Redevelopment Commission and the city engineering staff and other people within the city to make sure that this is going to be, a premier development within the city on the golf course. And in doing that, going out there, trying to figure out the best way to go do it. Do we want to have houses that are raised? Do we want to have houses with basements? Are we going to have it looking out over the golf course? Just trying to piece everything together, and in doing that, we decided to go through and adjust the grading plan out on site and get rid of some of the mounding of the area that was just into the golf course area and redistribute the material across the property to actually raise the property of the back lots, and then in turn that caused some additional rework that we had to go through and do. Sewer investigation, holy cow. That was an interesting endeavor. We're going out there, and the project, and I'm rambling on now, but I'll just let you know what was all involved in getting this taken care of. When we go out there and you do a site development, the city has sewers that are outside the property, and as long as they can handle the material that's going to be coming off our site, we're good. So I went out there one day just trying to, finalize all the details on this, and met with the sewer department out there, and they're like, well, wait a minute, this sewer downstream has been blocked off. This may be a dead-end line. Really? Okay, so we got to figure out exactly what's going on. So we were out there for quite some time trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and multiple people from the city were out there trying to figure out, and we determined that the system did work, figured out exactly how it worked, where it went, televising the sewers, cleaning the sewers, and making sure that everything that's coming out of this will be able to go into the city sewer system without any issues. And then keeping the city informed of all this stuff was extensive status meetings that we were doing on a weekly basis and trying to keep everybody going on. So in hindsight, we came in with the project, we ended up being about $29,000 over budget, and we're requesting reimbursement of these services that we've already spent to keep the project on staff. We understand that it's after the fact and it's not ideal to do that, but we were so gung-ho on trying to get this project out the door, we just kept the ball rolling in anticipation of approval of our reimbursement.
So I'm understanding that if we approve this is it, there is no more coming back for,
Depends on how you look at that. And I mean, what I mean by that is we're done. The design phase is done. You know, we got some utility coordination and stuff like that done, but, you know, that's on us. We're gonna finish taking that care of it. The design part there is done. However, we do have a proposal in with the city to oversee the construction, but that's completely separate.
separate.
This will end.
But this will end
yes,
this.
This will end this.
Okay. That's what I want to know. I'm good. Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the change order for the additional services for the Lost Marsh Estates.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of change order for the additional services for Lost Marsh Estates.
Can I interrupt? Nothing, is there a timeline on those Lost Marshes? I'm from the first district. Just curious. I mean, people are talking about it. Is there a timeline on that stuff?
For construction,
Yeah.
the contract's been awarded to the contractor, and they're planning on starting here within the next couple of weeks, with anticipation of working over the winter as the weather allows. They're gonna keep access to the site so people, when the city is moving forward selling the property, they'll be able to go in there and show them the properties. But we're planning on being ready to go, I would say, early part of the summer.
Oh, nice. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. The way they're planning on doing it is the site along New York Avenue is gonna be auctioned. I'm sorry, the lots in the back are gonna be auctioned to where a private, if you wanted to buy a house back there, come to the auction, high price gets the best lot, and you can develop and build it with your own builder. There's gonna be covenants, with the project. And then along New York, that's gonna go to a developer, and then, so all the homes will be consistent through there. Just a
Thanks.
little FYI, sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be custom-built homes.
Yes.
Which is very good. All right, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Any more questions or discussion? Okay, roll call.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Navejas, Myricks,
Yes.
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, we appreciate that.
Okay, number 13 is acceptance of a request for proposals and offers for purchase for 6524-6540 Calumet Avenue.
Commissioners, a couple of weeks ago, you gave us permission to advertise for the property located at 6524 to 6540 Calumet Avenue. That property is owned by the Redevelopment Commission, and it is the former Bolero property. So we did advertise, and we received one bid.
That's correct.
We received one bid, so at this time, Attorney Westland will open the bid.
And just your proofs of publication of the RFP were in order, and you've received
One bid.
one bid. So we had this appraised, and the minimum sales price was $237,500. This bid is, and this property we bid out about 4+ years ago. And we received a bid at that time from, I don't remember, but it was basically Steve Schonenberg and his company. That's the bidder again. The bid price, it's just, the price says the bidder is pleased to work with the HRC committee on a mutually agreed upon price for the subject property currently known as 6524 through 40 Calumet Avenue. So there's no specific price mentioned in the RFP, but I know that there was some negotiation back in 2014, and I suspect Mr. Schoenberg wants to pick that back up again, so I would refer this proposal and it's a multiple-page proposal about what he intends to do with the property to staff.
So moved.
Yet again, while he's confused, you sent in a bid without a bid price, but that just confuses me. But is this a refer to staff thing?
Yeah.
Is it a what?
Refer to staff, are you guys?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because I don't, ultimately, because he's the only bidder, and I know this particular property is fairly challenging. Mr. Schoenberg owns the property both to the north and the south. And this property, he's really, I'm not surprised that he's the only bidder, because I don't know if you didn't own those bookend properties, if it made any sense to bid.
Right.
I know from the last time, we were in negotiations and he was offering a price. I don't want to necessarily
No, that's fine. No.
get into that now, but I think the way I read this proposal is his request to kind of revisit where we were at, and he's the only one who's bid. So that's why I say refer it to staff. Let's see what we come up with, and, you know, ultimately it'll be your approval.
Mr. President, regarding 6524-6540 Calumet, I move we refer to staff for future discussion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for that RFP for the purchase for 6524, 6540 Calumet Avenue to be moved to staff. We have a roll call on that.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Abejas, Myrick,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay, number 14, reports. Ms.
None at this
Tarver?
time. None at this time.
Okay. Very good. Number 15 are bills, register for claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the register of claims. From July 6, 2017 through November 3rd, 2017, register of claim R54961 through R55385.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the register of claims dating July 6, 2017 through November 3rd, 2017. Claims R54961 through claim R55385. Is there any questions or discussion on these claims? Okay, roll call then.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Abejas, Myrick,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. Number 16, new and unfinished business.
Commissioners, the loan officer, Andrea Lewis, received a request from, I believe it was a homebound recipient,
Yes.
and she's going to discuss the request with you. She's asking for direction regarding the request that was received from the recipient.
The recipient is Daniel Carasquillo of 6510 Nevada. He received $2,500 in February of 2013 for the homebound program. He informed me that he has to sell his home, and he knows that with our recapture policy, he has to pay a percentage back of the $2,500 he received. 20% of the $2,500 would be $500. He told me at this time he's having a hardship. His home was appraised much less than what he thought it would go for, and to pay the $500 won't be easy. He's asking that it be waived simply because in February of 2018, next year, the 5 years will be complete. So it's about 3 months shy of the 5 years.
Do we have a formula in place on how much we ask back? Is there a proration?
It is. It's $2,500, 20% a year. So,
20% a year.
right, so you've waived off of 2,000 already because of him satisfying the program.
So that is a stated formula.
That's right.
So we have that number.
And he's 3 months short
Okay.
of getting the full additional $500 waived.
Do we know what his hardship is?
He just told me that he was having money problems and that his home appraised much less than what he thought it would be, so that was kind of not good on his end.
So is the house in distress? Is the property in distress?
I didn't get into all of that with him. He just asked if it can be waived and just told me that he was going through a hardship and that it would be hard for him to pay the $500.
I know it's not a lot of money, then it's 3 months. Unless it's an emergency situation, I think we should get more information. What's his hardship? Perhaps his house will sell in February. Who knows if it's gonna sell? Did it already sell?
They're actually supposed to be closing on it next week.
So they have a closing set.
Yes.
And at this point, we don't know if he's gonna receive any proceeds.
Right, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see, if he's gonna come out of there with, $10,000, then we can take our 500. If he's gonna come out of there, net zero, that's different.
Right.
That's my opinion. I'd like more information. That's just not, like I say, it's not a motion, it's a opinion.
But in the time I've been on, it's only happened one other time, so.
Right.
But they were actually able to provide us with.
If so, if I understand you correctly, if you had a closing statement or a net sheet showing what he was going to net from the sale of the house, and so if you had that.
All we have right now is, I'm having a hardship. Well, I got hardship too.
No, I get it.
I'm not trying to be, the Grinch here. It's just
So my suggestion would be like either a net sheet or closing statement and/or his appearance here to explain, why.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
That would
Either one.
satisfy, my objection.
And you have a meeting in 10 days roughly, a little bit short of that, 12 days.
Okay, whatever.
He's supposed to close before the next meeting.
Well, while I understand that, what I hear the commission saying is that they want more information than they have available.
If I drew a hard line, a hard line, then I'm saying he can close before the next meeting, but we get $500. And we don't release our second lien. I don't think it's much to ask. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Commissioners, whatever, but
I would say at the very least, his appearance here.
It's $500. You're either gonna waive $500 or you're not, basically.
So, Mr. President, do you want to waive the $500? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was listening to you. He is close, it is 3 months, but yeah, if you want to draw the line, the rules are the rules, or, if you.
You can also make that motion.
He can't from there.
No.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
No.
No, it has to be one of us.
It would affect his closing, right?
Yes.
Right, so.
I understand what Commissioner Kasperky is saying, that he is saying he has all these situations, but we have nothing to look at. We have rules. It would be nice if we had the gentleman here, and if he's having a hardship, what kind of hardship is he having? Perhaps we can be a further service, besides, and if he's selling his home, yeah.
Can we, if he gets us the document, if he gets us the closing statement or whatever in a week, and we review it between the three of us, can we give it an okay, on a? No, we can't do that? Okay.
No. I see both sides of this. I say let's just have some compassion, waive the $500, Merry Christmas, and be done with this. That's my opinion.
That-
So with saying that, I make a motion to, how should I structure this motion?
Well, it'd be a
Waive
motion,
$500.
yeah, to waive the remaining portion of the $500, which would be due. I just want to, it's difficult when there are guidelines and they're annual guidelines, right? And there's really no policy or procedure for something short of an annual, okay, I get the having the compassion. I would say, though, that this closing wasn't set yesterday. And, you know, the fact that it's set for next week and that we're finally getting the request now, it's this kind of saying I have with my kids that it's, you know, your procrastination is not really my emergency. So I don't think it's unreasonable in light of the fact that we're in kind of a subjective area without a stated policy that you would either have the individual here or see the closing statement and/or see the closing statement to know exactly what you're waiving and what effect that then has on the person. Because in order to have compassion, to Mr. Kasperky's point, how do you know what he's taking out of this? And how do you know what kind of, are you having compassion or are you just being,
You know, being duped.
yeah, you don't know which one, and I'm not suggesting that that's what's going on here, but you are gonna set a precedent for future.
That was my other concern.
Okay,
Thank you.
so you're gonna have people now that may have to sell within the 5 years, and then what guidance are you gonna have for those future situations if you don't even ask for what I would consider to be fairly minimal documentation at this point?
And I don't think that that's an unreasonable request to ask for the documentation that Commissioner Kasperky is mentioning, and to have this gentleman, you know, to have an audience with him.
See, now I go back to the procrastination thing. In real estate, a lot of times you don't even know. Once you start doing the figures, sometimes you don't even know until 2 or 3 days in advance. He might have thought that there was going to be enough to eat the 500, and now there's not. So again, we don't know enough about the situation. I would hate to put undue financial duress on someone that we could have done. We don't know. So like I said, I have my opinion, you have yours, and whatever we decide.
We don't know what his situation is.
I mean, I'm not an expert on the Robert's Rules of Orders, but if Commissioner Myrick moved to waive the 500 and I moved for more information, I think
Well, if there's no second, it's.
that's my point.
Well, I haven't really, and this may be me that I didn't hear the motions
Okay.
being made. I think Mr. Myrick.
I was starting to make it.
He was starting, and I think I probably interrupted him, so
Okay,
I apologize for that.
I thought they were both made, so.
No.
I don't think they
I
were.
asked the question, exactly how should I make this motion?
I'll be the bad guy. I move that we request more information, possibly and/or an appearance, before we decide on the waiving of the $500.
And I would have to second his request, because I also feel the same way. I think it sets a precedent for future situations. And we're here not just on our own behalf, but on the behalf of all of our other constituents.
That was my concern too, just for the future. He's really close, you know, but, I mean, if, he almost got that year and it's just too bad, but you're right, just for future that he didn't quite make the cut, so.
Well, you have a motion and a second. You don't.
that was just my comment. All right, is there any?
I think his presence here might have made a difference today.
Yes, I agree.
I think his presence here might have made a difference, because he could have explained what his complete situation was.
I'd still like to see the closing statement, or
And, yeah.
Okay, We have a motion then and a second for, Daniel, what's his last name?
Carasquillo.
Carasquillo at 6510 Nevada to come to a meeting or show documentation of his hardship and also the, I guess, the sale of the home to see if there's any net proceeds. Okay, roll call then.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Navejas, Myrick,
No.
Poppers.
Yes. So motion passes, 3 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. Okay. Number 17, public comment. Anybody like to come forward and speak now? 3 minutes. Okay, public comment closed. Number 18.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.